name is Derek Green, and I'm going to be doing my TED content analysis on Miss Paula Schur and how to get serious. The reason why I chose this video is because she gives a breakdown on how to get serious through the process of her design development, and also she gives a little insight into her lifelong career. The reason why I did choose this video because it directly correlates with Duarte's present visual stories that transform the audience because she really gives an excellent presentation. The breakdown of her presentation, pretty much, she was talking about playing in her design, which is pretty much engaging as a childlike activity. Also, she described playing as also gambling with something. She did quoted an essay, Letter of Friendly Advice, written by Russell Backdoor, who was an observer columnist in the New York Times, and it basically just described her mood about design. She breaks it down into two serious topics. One is being solemn, and the other is being serious. Being serious in design is more so goes back to being play-like and engaging yourself like a child and just letting yourself free. Solemn design is more socially correct, she explains, and you know, she also explained that serious design happens like on accident or through a spontaneous or maybe even play. It's imperfect. It's craft flaws and it's invention and change, which helped her throughout her lifelong career. She gives a breakdown of her career with the career staircase, and it was just a visual concept, um, which also notes back to the visual stories and transforms the audience because that staircase she used throughout the whole presentation, and which just kept the audience all on the same page. Um, she described how being hired to be solemn for most of her career, how she just worked, later on in career, how she worked more so towards just being whatever the person hired wanted to be, not let herself express her creative freedom anymore, and how through that process, made her become solemn more and more. She also explains how when she plays serious, how it's like great to be a kid, how it makes you come up with all these interesting new concepts, and it's like you have no border or no boundaries, and that had helped her throughout her lifelong career as a graphic designer. She also, says that when she was younger, she hated stuff to be made in Hedvika. She also liked to correlate mixed Victorian designs, deco art, or nouveau, and this helped her make lush and elaborate designs. Um, Pretty much after she designed herself stuff so much and it became worldwide popular, she kind of grew old within her own design, so she had to kind of rediscover herself and reinvent herself, from becoming solemn and getting back to serious play. um, so she describes a particular project, you know, and she kept design on T and kept the audience on edge when she started, giving lights of this project. The project I'm talking about was her design project with the Public Theater. She said this is one of her highlight moments when she just let herself go and just got into becoming serious play. Um, Throughout the project, she just tried to be socially different. She said she engaged on every little detail, just to be different from the social norm that was going on at the time. Um, she also explained that when it became widely popular, kind of her identity was taken. Other people started using the same type of design concepts, and she had to, just recorrelate herself. She had to kind of get grasp on being serious again, just because, once your design gets widely shared, it just doesn't have no originality to it. She also explained as one of her great insights that how she integrated graphics and architecture throughout buildings that she was hired from. This was pretty much what she said and how she said she used buildings as her canvas. just recreating the new social norm, just to grasp her audience a little better. Um, she talks well again in her presentation, which directly correlates to presentation and visuals. Her visual aids definitely helped her presentation more and more. It kept the audience, wanting more, wanting to see more of her designs. They were very well placed throughout her slides presentation, and I believe that it did push her presentation to become a great TED talk. And just by grasping the audience with all of her designs, it basically just linked on to the visual stories, just of her lifelong career throughout design. Um, um, and it also ended with her very best design and what she's most popularly noted for, which is the city logo design. She first, explains the story of how she first drew the design on a napkin and how she had to go through lifelong boring meetings when she was still, pushing that design. She said this was a long, devastating year for her. She got real confused on what designs she wanted to push. She felt like the meetings were intolerable and that she didn't really need to go through them just to push the same design that she did from the beginning. But she also talks about the positive side of how she, during that depressing time, was also doing other work that kept her busy, and that work ended up selling to different gallerias around the world. So she definitely, kept her head in the game even through her darkest hours. Like she explained, as far as the movie that she was watching earlier, and he had his darkest hours, but he still, you know, persevered in the end. So I do believe this TED Talk was an original piece that I think directly correlates with the content of the class, especially her usage of, just a visual design that led the audience through a story from beginning to end and, throughout her life career. And I also believe that, Paula Sure, she, stepped it up a notch in design and for all the people who's interested in design. Um, that has been my TED Talk. Thank you once again. This is Derek Green, and I appreciate your time.